What's going on, world? It's your boy Gemini Brown here, back with another episode of Nalo Kicking Knowledge. Today, we'll be continuing our Venus through houses series, and we'll be discussing Venus in the 7th house. And if you know anything about astrology, you know that Venus is at home in the 7th house. The 7th house is the original sign of Libra, which relates to balance, partnerships, and the 7th house is marriage, partnerships in general as well. It represents the courthouse. What do you need to get married? A marriage license. Where do you get that? The courthouse. 7th house is also considered the house of open enemies. You know, I'm still like on the fence with that one, but you know. And of course, we know Venus is the planet of love, beauty, relationships, creativity, and all that good stuff, pleasure. Okay? So, when Venus is at home in the 7th house, this is a very, very strong indication that marriage has been on your mind all your life. Barring that you have like Chiron in this house or Venus in aspect to Chiron, you very much so believe in that fairy tale love. And if you've connected with any type of Libras, you'll know that they've been thinking about their wedding since they were little. Okay? So, nonetheless, this is a huge, huge part of this position. But in terms of expression, what it really does is that it makes the person relationship oriented. Not just in the sense of romance, but partnership in general. These are the people who really don't like to do anything alone. And it's funny, my best friend has his Venus in Gemini in the 7th house. And even before astrology, I just always noticed like, yo, this guy does not like to do anything by himself. And like me, I'm the opposite of that. You know, I'm a loner by nature. I love people. So I know he'd be like, where you at? I'm like, I'm at the mall. He's like, who you with? I'm by myself. Oh, you went to the mall by yourself? It's just foreign to these people to not have companions to do things with. So, nonetheless, with Venus representing charm and, you know, sociality, these are very pleasant people to engage in, you know, relationships with. And the sign on the 7th house is going to show us who we really form relationships with. Okay? So, if it's Gemini, chances are, I've seen this a lot, when the Venus is in Gemini or in the 7th house specifically, you have a lot of siblings, okay? And with your siblings, you have, you know, relationships. Those are the first people you form it with, okay? And depending on the sign that is here and the relationships that you form early on in life, it's just going to color the way that you kind of expect all your relationships to be, all right? If this is Aries, you're going to expect, you know, your friends or the people you're in a relationship with to be aggressive and outgoing. You want to do things with them, okay? If it's the sign of Cancer, you expect people to be there for you, to listen, all right? To give you that, to nurture you in whatever way you need it, all right? If it's Leo, it's going to bring your relationships with people are going to bring out your creativity. So, as we venture into this next half of the zodiac, the idea of how Venus is influenced and the people you make relationships with and the effect that they have on you is going to take on great, great, great importance, okay? So, like I said, one thing these people are also big on is fairness, okay? They're quite, you won't really find a Venus in the 7th house who is selfish because they're all about equality. They want to engage with others, and the golden rule becomes big here. Do unto others how you want them to do unto you. So, especially in water signs, what can happen here is that this Venus is sensitive, becomes very sensitive to disharmony or, you know, confrontation. Okay, so on the downside of this position, You can, if you don't have like enough fire or confidence, you can easily become a pushover and kind of just go with the sway of the group and, you know, being led rather than leading. So always you want to just keep in mind that I have to keep a balanced perspective. I can't want my own way too much, and I can't let others have their own way too much. Okay? So in the terms of personal relationships, right, romantic relationships, and who we form them with, the thing people often overlook here is that the Venus here is really showing, giving a good indication of your partner, okay? And the aspects are going to be really, really important to showing how you guys function within that relationship. So we know that trines and sextiles are harmonious aspects that open up the flow of energy. So say you have Venus trine Jupiter. This is going to indicate within your relationship, you are very, you and your partner are very giving towards each other. If it's in an earth sign and making that aspect, you can be very materialistic and in the sense of just wanting to provide yourselves with luxury, okay, and the best things possible. If it's fire oriented, that's really going to show. If it's like Aries, that's the couple that is working out together. That is the couple who are doing mad hands-on things, hiking, okay? If it's Sagittarius, like, you know, that's definitely they're going to have that certain philosophies or religious tie towards one another, okay? So with this, and in picking a partner, I strongly, you know, suggest looking at where that person's Venus is placed as well as the condition of their 7th house, because it's going to give you an indication as to how they view relationships, okay? So if you get a person who has Aries in the 7th and they have Mars there, or, you know, something like that, that can indicate a big conflict, an opposition. You know, this can be someone selfish in nature. So it's very, very important for the person, you know, with this position to demand respect and equality, okay? Don't just go with the flow. And also, you want there to be an elemental balance, okay? You don't want to pick, if you have a lot of fire in your chart, you don't want to pick someone who has all fire as well. You need, they should have air to balance that out, okay? But definitely you want someone who can invigorate, you know, certain energies within you, but then you also want them to be able to balance, okay? So this is a really, really great position, obviously, because Venus rules this house. Now, in terms of creativity, work, and things of that nature, how can I say this? Like, these people they're team players, okay? So rarely will you find someone with Venus in the 7th, okay, unless there's other factors in the chart, you know, like a strong sun or 5th house influence that are like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to, you know, I got this. I'm going to run it all by myself. Like I said, the influence of people you're around are really going to affect or inspire what you do with your creativity or how you develop your creativity. So this is really a really good position for people, like I said, who work in the legal field, okay, whether it be in a secretary, whether it be in like security, just a part of a team that makes things function, because they feel good in that role, sharing the responsibilities. And keep that in mind for your marriage as well. You don't want, you know, someone who is overly reliant upon you, i.e. Mary J. Blige, okay? So, like I said, really, really good position. The next thing I would just say is just seek to find that balance between being a team player and exerting your own individuality. Learn to do things alone. you'll find happiness in that too, because that'll breed self-confidence. You don't want to keep looking for others to keep giving you confidence. Alright? So y'all, this is my interpretation of Venus in the 7th house. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, feel free to do so. If you need a reading, holla at me. Till next time, peace.